On the calm night of March 8, 2014, a routine flight took off from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, destined for Beijing, China. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, a Boeing 777, carried 227 passengers and 12 crew members. The initial hours of the flight seemed completely normal, just another journey across the skies. The pilots communicated with air traffic control as expected, and the plane followed its planned route. Families on the ground went to sleep, expecting their loved ones to arrive safely in the morning. No one could have predicted that this flight would soon become one of the greatest aviation mysteries in history, capturing the world's attention for more than a decade. Less than an hour into its journey, while flying over the South China Sea, something went terribly wrong. The plane's transponder, which communicates its position to ground control, was switched off. Shortly after, the flight disappeared from civilian radar screens. The final verbal communication from the cockpit was a calm "Good night, Malaysian 370." After that, there was only silence. The aircraft had vanished without a trace, without a distress call, and without any explanation. This sudden and complete disappearance left aviation experts and authorities utterly baffled, sparking immediate questions about what could have happened aboard that fateful flight. The initial confusion quickly turned into a global emergency. When the plane failed to arrive in Beijing at its scheduled time, an unprecedented international response began to take shape. Airlines and governments scrambled for information, trying to piece together the last known movements of the aircraft. For the families waiting at the airport, the lack of news was agonizing. They were gathered in a private room, their hopes slowly turning to despair as the hours ticked by with no updates. The world watched, holding its breath, as the search for 239 missing souls commenced under a cloud of complete uncertainty and profound mystery. The questions started immediately and have never stopped. Was it a catastrophic mechanical failure that happened so quickly there was no time to send a signal? Was it a deliberate act of hijacking or terrorism? Did something happen to the pilots that caused them to lose control? Each theory presented its own set of problems and lacked concrete evidence. The absence of any wreckage, debris, or a clear crash site made it impossible to confirm any scenario. The world was left with only speculation, and the families were left with an unbearable void, a pain that has lingered for over 11 long years. In the days and weeks that followed the disappearance, the world witnessed one of the largest and most complex search operations in history. Dozens of countries, including Malaysia, China, Australia, and the United States, joined forces. They deployed ships, aircraft, and advanced surveillance technology to scour vast areas of the South China Sea, the initial location where the plane was last tracked. The international cooperation was immense, with nations putting aside political differences to focus on the humanitarian mission. Every resource available was thrown into the effort, driven by the desperate hope of finding survivors, or at the very least, answers about the plane's fate. However, the search area soon shifted dramatically. Analysis of satellite data, which detected faint electronic pings from the aircraft long after it vanished from radar, suggested a completely different flight path. Experts concluded that after disappearing, the plane had turned back over the Malay Peninsula and then flown south for hours over the remote southern Indian Ocean. This new information redirected the entire search effort to one of the most isolated and challenging maritime environments on Earth. The search zone was now thousands of kilometers from where anyone had initially looked, in an area known for its deep waters and treacherous weather conditions. The underwater search that followed was a monumental undertaking. For years, specialized vessels equipped with sonar and autonomous underwater vehicles meticulously scanned a massive arc of the Indian Ocean seabed, an area covering over 120,000 square kilometers. This phase of the search was led by Australia and cost hundreds of millions of dollars. Despite the incredible technology and the dedicated efforts of the search teams, the main wreckage of MH370 was never found. The deep, dark and rugged underwater terrain proved to be an immense challenge, hiding its secrets well and offering no clues to the plane's final resting place. While the main aircraft remained lost, small pieces of debris confirmed to be from MH370 began washing ashore on the coastlines of Africa and islands in the Indian Ocean. A flaperon, a part of the wing, was discovered on Reunion Island in 2015, providing the first physical evidence that the plane had indeed crashed. Other small fragments were found in Mozambique, Tanzania, and Mauritius. These discoveries confirmed the general flight path over the Indian Ocean, but did little to pinpoint the exact location of the main wreckage. The official search was eventually suspended in January 2017, leaving the mystery unsolved and the families in a state of limbo. After years of waiting and campaigning by the families of the victims, a new chapter in the search for MH370 began in early 2025. The Malaysian government, demonstrating a renewed commitment to finding answers, announced it would resume the search. This decision brought a fresh wave of hope to those who had never given up. The government partnered with Ocean Infinity, a US-based marine robotics company that had previously conducted a search in 2018. This time, the company would bring its latest generation of autonomous underwater vehicles and advanced data analysis techniques to bear on the mystery, focusing on a new, more refined search area. The agreement with Ocean Infinity is structured as a no-find, no-fee contract, a powerful incentive for success. This means the company will only receive its reward, reportedly up to $70 million, if it successfully locates the aircraft's wreckage. This arrangement ensures that Malaysia's financial risk is minimized while maximizing the chances of a breakthrough. The new search area, covering about 15,000 square kilometers, was determined by new analysis from independent experts who have continued to study the satellite data and drift patterns of the confirmed debris. This fresh look at the evidence has provided a compelling case for searching this specific zone. The renewed search officially commenced with great anticipation, but it soon faced a significant obstacle. In April 2025, just as operations were getting underway, the search had to be temporarily suspended. The reason was the onset of the harsh winter weather in the southern hemisphere. The southern Indian Ocean is notorious for its gigantic waves, powerful winds, and extreme conditions during winter, making it far too dangerous for the search vessels and their crews to operate safely. The safety of the search team is paramount, and continuing the mission under such perilous conditions would have been an unacceptable risk for everyone involved. Despite the delay, the families of the victims expressed their understanding and continued patience. They have waited for over a decade, and they know that a safe and thorough search is more important than a rushed one. The suspension is temporary, and Ocean Infinity has announced that operations are expected to resume at the end of 2025, once the weather improves. This pause, while frustrating, has not dampened the renewed sense of optimism. For the families, this new search represents the best and perhaps last chance to finally get the answers they have so desperately sought and to bring their loved ones home. More than 11 years after its disappearance, the story of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 continues to resonate deeply with people across the globe. Part of its enduring fascination lies in the sheer scale of the mystery. In an age of constant surveillance, satellite tracking, and global connectivity, the idea that a modern Boeing 777 could simply vanish from the face of the Earth is both terrifying and deeply unsettling. It challenges our sense of security and our faith in technology, reminding us that there are still things in our world that we cannot fully control or explain. This fundamental mystery keeps the story alive in the public consciousness. The human element is, of course, at the very heart of why we still care. The 239 people on board were not just statistics. They were parents, children, spouses, and friends. They had lives, dreams, and families who continued to grieve their loss without the closure of knowing what happened. The unwavering dedication of the victims' families, who have tirelessly campaigned for the search to continue, is a powerful and moving story of love and perseverance. Their fight for answers has kept MH370 in the news, and has reminded the world of the human cost of this tragedy, ensuring that the passengers and crew are never forgotten. Furthermore, the search for MH370 has pushed the boundaries of science and technology. The effort to locate the plane has led to advancements in satellite data analysis, underwater mapping, and marine robotics. The challenges posed by the search have forced experts to innovate and develop new methods for tracking and exploration. This quest for answers is not just about solving one mystery, it is also about improving aviation safety for the future. By understanding what went wrong with MH370, the aviation industry can implement changes to ensure such a disappearance can never happen again, making air travel safer for everyone around the world. Ultimately, the search for MH370 is a search for truth. It represents a collective human desire to find order in chaos and to seek answers in the face of the unknown. As long as the plane remains missing, the questions will persist, and the story will remain unfinished. The new search in 2025 offers a tangible hope that this long and painful chapter might finally come to a close. Finding the aircraft would not only bring peace to the families, but would also provide crucial lessons for the entire world. That is why, after all these years, we still look to the southern Indian Ocean and wait for news.